A day ago at the Space Needle in Seattle, a fireworks display lit up the Seattle night sky, ringing in 2025. As was the case for the Space Needle, Seattle Pacific and St. Martin's ushered in the new year with fireworks of their own. Seattle Pacific eclipsing triple digits in their last two games of 2024, while St. Martin's shot the lights out of Twin Star Credit Union Court against Lincoln of California with a season-high 120 points. SPU and SMU already have several GNAC games in the rearview mirror, but with the calendar turning from 24 to 25, it's time to ramp it up to notch 8. After the intermission of Christmas break, GNAC play revs up again with the 150th all-time meeting between the Seattle Pacific Falcons and the St. Martin Saints. Good evening, everyone. Danny Buck alongside Rick Wells. And Rick, it's been 26 days since SPU and SMU have played in a GNAC game, and over 2 weeks since both teams have taken the hard court. How do you dial up the intensity from 1 to 100 in such little time?
Well, Danny, by the way, good to see you again. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to you, Rick.
You know, that's a coach's nightmare, having so many, almost a month off. And so I would believe that coaches would want, in the last 10 days or so, to just ramp up practice to be really intense. High-calorie practices, game situations, scrimmages with the score clock, referees, if you athletic director will buy them for you, and just be intense. Along with that, it's an opportunity to set personal performance goals that during that whole 3 or 4 weeks off, you can start perfecting and working on. Hopefully these guys are staying in a gym someplace, keeping their touch on a basketball the last few weeks. I can't imagine that not happening. So anyway, you got to blow out some cobwebs in this first half. You haven't been playing competition, so to speak, at least intercollegiate. So that turkey dinner and mashed potatoes and gravy, time to blow it out, Danny.
Oh man, well, now you got me hungry. But more importantly, let's take a look at both these two teams. Seattle Pacific comes in with one loss in GNAC play. Their only battle came against a really good Montana State Billings side, a game that went into overtime. Owen Moriarty had himself a fantastic game, 29 points, 9 rebounds, and those marks also career highs for Moriarty. But also excellent performances from Jackson Knapp, 10 points, 17 rebounds, and Jonas Latour had 16 points. It was a neck-and-neck game. It was tied 36-36 at the half, and then 71-71 at the end of regulation after Jonas Latour had a three to give Seattle Pacific the lead late before Montana State Billings came back thanks to Jalen Tott, one of the proficient scorers from across the GNAC, in a 71-71 tie. But then in the end, Montana State Billings came away with the victory. St. Martin's, they're 2-0 in conference play. Let's head to the floor of our public address announcer, Joe DeBruni.
As tonight the Seattle Pacific Falcons come to play, they come in as a record of 4-8 overall, 0-1 in GNAC play. And your hometown Saints are 13-2 overall, 2-0 in GNAC play. We've already done the national anthem for the first game, so let's go ahead and meet the Falcons. A 6'2 junior, number 1, Owen Moriarty. A 6'7 junior, number 3, Jackson Knapp. A 6'6 sophomore, number 4, Jonas Latour. A 6'4 freshman, number 20, is Henry Sandberg. And a 6'9 junior, number 33, Micaiah Shooterstead. Jeffrey Bogdo, head coach, assisted by Donna Roller, David Choi, and George Parker. A 6'6" junior from Niagara Falls, Ontario, number 4, Emmanuel Oludule. A 6'5" senior from West Palm Beach, Florida, number 5, Miles Samuels. A 5'10" senior from Salem, Oregon, number 11, Jaden Nielsen Skinner. A 6'2" senior from Beverly Hills, California, number 13, is Marcel Stevens. And a 6'8" junior from Chandler, Arizona, number 32, Lacey Lightball. Mr. Atlanta Hamlin is 6 season head coach. This is Taylor Knoxville, Brandon Mr. Benjamin Hunter, second.
It's time to play GNAC basketball after the long extended break. Away we go. Seattle Pacific against St. Martin's. These two teams last year in conference play were separated by one game and one game exclusively. St. Martin's comes in to tonight with a 3-game win streak on Seattle Pacific. In this age-old rivalry, the 150th all-time meeting between the Falcons and the Saints. Seattle Pacific owns the all-time series by a whopping count of 104-45. But away we go. Let's meet the starters for both these two teams. First, for Seattle Pacific, Jeffrey Fazio, their head coach, Owen Moriarty, Jackson Knapp, Jonas Latour, Henry Sandberg, and also Nikias Schoenerstedt. St. Martin's has Dyson Lighthall taking the opening tip, Miles Samuels, Emmanuel Ladele, Jaden Nielsen Skinner, rounding out the lineup, along with Marcel Stevens, and away we go from Twin Star Credit Union Court. Nielsen Skinner finds Dyson Lighthall, locked up on Schoenerstedt. Off the rim it goes. Seattle Pacific advances with Owen Moriarty. From the top of the key. Moriarty plays catch with Jackson Knapp. Henry Sandberg off the left-handed dribble. Moriarty spins on Nielsen Skinner through contact. And here comes Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Dropped it. Stevens, the 3, buries it. Marcel Stevens gives the Saints the early lead, 45 seconds in.
Stevens is a 40% three-point shooter, Danny.
And he showed it right there, that excellence. Jackson Knapp dished inside. Owen Moriarty on Lighthall. Can't get the roll. Rebound couldn't be claimed by Jonas Latour. Here comes Marcel Stevens for St. Martin's again through contact. Halted to play. Foul called on the floor. Charged against Seattle Pacific on Jackson Knapp. And a long storied rivalry between St. Martin's and Seattle Pacific. Last year, St. Martin's against Seattle Pacific led 48-18 at halftime. Here's Miles Samuels. Off the left-handed dribble, drive to the rack and the bucket, and a 5-0 lead for St. Martin's.
Great job finding the seam right there.
Moriarty defers right side for Henry Sandberg. Pump fakes again. Off of Stevens, preserved by Schoenerstedt. Schoenerstedt has it again. Inside Sandberg, off the heel. Rebound claimed to the rack and scoring Jonas Latour. And Seattle Pacific has their first points of the night. Jaden Nielsen Skinner finds Dyson Lighthall. Gives a browse. Watched by Schoenerstedt. Lighthall off the window and out. Jackson Knapp up ahead. Owen Moriarty for Seattle Pacific. Around Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Fakes again. Foul called. 2:12 elapsed time. As we settle into action, Danny DeBach alongside Rick Wells at the line for Seattle Pacific, Owen Moriarty.
Moriarty's a 90% free throw shooter.
He has been fantastic at the line. He stakes to that claim. The first made free throw. 5-3 contest. Early stages. Moriarty goes 2 for 2. Owen Moriarty, the leading scorer of the Seattle Pacific team, averaging 16.8 a game. Nielsen Skinner, Samuels left side. Manuel Oladele. Ranged up high for Dyson Lighthall. He'll look to close inside through the double team. Oladele, the three! Missed it off the left side of the rim. Lighthall tried to reach in, foul call. Called against Henry Sandberg of Seattle Pacific. Oladele to Lighthall, left side for Marcel Stevens. This is Miles Samuels. Jay that clanks off the rim and out. Moriarty advances up the floor for Seattle Pacific. Owen Moriarty browses. Sandberg given right side. Deep three. Jonas Latour in and out. Dyson Lighthall comes away with a board, and here comes St. Martin's. Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Emmanuel Adele missed the three. Seattle Pacific, their first road conference game of the season. This comes after a long extended break. Sandberg fakes the three on Nielsen Skinner. And the free throw line. Right side, Jackson Knapp. Shifted it inside. Owen Moriarty through contact. Came up short. Oladele comes up with the board for St. Martin's. Miles Samuels down the lane to the rack. She in. It's Samuels that scores on the bucket. And St. Martin's has a 7-4 lead. Owen Moriarty. To the right side, Sandberg. To the left wing side, Moriarty inside for Jackson Knapp. And a travel call. Timeout on the floor with 4:08 elapsed time in the first half. St. Martin's with a 7-4 lead. Whether it's competitive rates, affordable loans, or great service, Twin Star Credit Union is here to help you reach your financial goals every step of the way. Together, we can help you realize your financial dreams. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. 7-4 lead for St. Martin's on Seattle Pacific. And this is a very important matchup early on in GNAC play. Although St. Martin's finished third last year in the standings, Seattle Pacific 6. The separation between these two teams, only one game. St. Martin's had a record last year of 11-7 in GNAC play. Seattle Pacific 10-8. This one game could alter the GNAC standings at the end of the year. So you look towards the GNAC tournament, and we're already talking about the tournament in game number 2 for Seattle Pacific.
Yeah, true, Danny. This is a big matchup. These two teams are, the last several years, have been neck and neck, head and head, vying for that playoff spot. This is a big game. Even though it's early in GNAC play, it'll matter down the road.
And it's not often you're already talking about playoffs, but with how these two teams have established their resumes, why not talk playoffs early on? Diego Trejo Delgado comes in off the bench. Miles Samuels floats the jumper. Well short. Seattle Pacific looks to advance. And they do. Up the floor as they bring on Mason Landek. Averages 15 points a game for the Falcons of Seattle Pacific. Logan Kinlock. Only his third game, and he's rejected on the play by Jay-Sean Moore. Illegally, though. Logan Kinlock, first GNAC game of the season, and Jay-Sean Moore says, "How do you do?" He is charged with a foul, though. For Jay-Sean Moore, already making an impact. But at the line, first free throw converted from Logan Kinlock. Only played in 2 games this year. Those came against Douglas and Evergreen State. Both games that Seattle Pacific eclipsed triple digits in non-conference play. Kinlock goes 2 for 2. So here comes St. Martin's. Trejo Delgado gives to Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Here's Marcel Stevens, missed the 3. Seattle Pacific claims the board. And they advance with Mason Landek. From the right side, Landek shoveled low, foul called. Brings us into a stoppage of play. 7-6 lead for St. Martin's. Again, we'll keep you up to date as much as we can on the GNAC schedule. 4 games in the conference this evening, including this one. Western Washington plays Alaska Fairbanks. This elevated shot from Jonas Latour, well short. Diego Trejo Delgado. No play. Foul charged against Jonas Latour. Owen Moriarty checks in for Seattle Pacific. So inbounding, Omar Edge Pixari for St. Martin's, his first action of the game. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, left corner, faked by Miles Samuels. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner browses. Miles Samuels the 3. Funnels out. Rebound claimed by Seattle Pacific. From the left side, elevated out to Owen Moriarty. The protection of Henry Sandberg. Watched by Jay-Sean Moore. Sandberg. Out to Schoonerstedt. Left side, Mason Landek down the lane on Trejo Delgado, and a foul called with Landek on the deck. Diego Trejo Delgado issued the foul call. So here is Mason Landek at the line, shooting 2. And Landek makes the first free throw to tie the game. You talk about pace, especially after coming off a break. Both teams played well up to this point. Landek makes both free throws. Seattle Pacific with a 1-point lead. Nielsen-Skinner. Miles Samuels left all alone. Right back to Nielsen-Skinner again. Skinny fakes the 3. Samuels left side. Trejo Delgado shuffled. Edge Pixari with a Euro step, but no bucket. Back comes Landek. He'll settle it. Watched by Jay-Sean Moore. Moriarty. Left side, Schoonerstedt. Off the screen. Landek fakes the shot. Lob. Nielsen-Skinner came away with a steal. Trejo Delgado behind his back. Here comes Diego Trejo Delgado. Moore. Left side. Edge Pixari. Omar Edge Pixari scores, and St. Martin's reclaims the lead. It's 9-8.
Great ball movement on the offense that time. Catching SPU out of position on defense.
Edge Pixari with the bucket. And we see this in the first game after the break from GNAC play. Long 3 missed by Landek. And a foul called against Seattle Pacific. Going against Henry Sandberg. That's his second personal. Not even 10 minutes into the game. Jay-Sean Moore seeing valuable minutes in the early moments here in Lacey. In 4 games going on tonight, Alaska Anchorage taking on Simon Fraser. Alaska Fairbanks is in Bellingham to take on Western Washington, and Montana State Billings taking on Western Oregon. Montana State Billings will be seeing St. Martin's on Saturday. We'll be there with you. I'll be joined alongside the great Sean Wally. Here comes Jaden Nielsen-Skinner, the top of the key. Left side for Miles Samuels, right back to Skinny. Out to Jay-Sean Moore. Skinny has it again. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner fakes the 3. Jay-Sean Moore looks to drive inside off the left-handed dribble. Moore gave it away. Seattle Pacific the other way with Owen Moriarty. 1-on-2. Scores. What an individual effort from Owen Moriarty. Jay-Sean Moore accelerates Nielsen-Skinner from the outside. Off the left-handed dribble. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner looks. Omar edge Pixari for St. Martin's. What a find. Diego Trail Delgado had it dislodged. Seattle Pacific breaks out. Knapp. Left side for Landeck. Latour to Moriarty. Jonas Latour again. Matched up on Stevens. Backdoor feed intercepted by Omar Edge Pixari. Shoveled it. Miles Samuels missed the 3. The board claimed by Owen Moriarty for Seattle Pacific. Neck and neck they go. With 9 minutes played here at Marcus Pavilion. Landeck, through contact, he scores anyway.
Great effort by him that time. Took the ball right down that open seam on the weak side.
Mason Landeck for Seattle Pacific. 3-point lead for the visitors from King County. Omar edge Pixari. No look pass. Full Jay-Sean Moore. And Seattle Pacific consequently with possession. Landeck ahead from Knapp. Foul called. With the offensive drive from Jonas Latour, Jay-Sean Moore charged the foul. Second personal for Jay-Sean Moore. Timeout on the floor. Stay up to date on all things Saints by following us on social media at SMU Saints or by heading to our website, smusaints.com. Seattle Pacific a 12-9 lead on St. Martin's. Danny DeBach alongside Rick Wells. And Rick, the pace has been excellent. However, something that may come as a little bit of a surprise, 3-point shooting. Well, in some respects, St. Martin's ranked 3rd in the conference in 3-pointers, and, well, it's been a rather cold start.
They're 1-6 for threes right now. But I attribute that to, not being in a game situation for 3 or 4 weeks. It takes a touch to hit that 3. And sometimes you can lose that if you're not, in the gym playing games week after week.
And there's maybe some rust that still needs to be dusted off. But Seattle Pacific, to their credit, has been able to score efficiently, and it's been well distributed. Owen Moriarty, 4 points. Mason Landeck with a quartet. Latour, Logan Kinlock also scoring so far, but still early stages. What would you want to see for Seattle Pacific, your head coach Kefri Fascio?
Well, right now I would say let's hit the boards a little harder. The advantage is Seattle Pacific right now. You have 11 boards to just 7 for St. Martin's, and they've got 4, 5, 6 guys with rebounds.
Counted in the foul for Owen Moriarty. How about crashing to the boards? Owen Moriarty with the bucket. What a sequence that was. Moriarty at the line. He completes the three-point play. The difficult traverse.
He's technically an excellent free throw shooter. You just watch his form, and his delivery's the same every time.
Look to see that again, and look at that free throw motion maybe a couple more times a night. The answer from Diego Trejo Delgado, and it's a 4-point game. So here comes Seattle Pacific with a 4-point lead. Moriarty from the left side for Jackson Knapp. Top of the key. Wild miss from Jonas Latour. Rebound claim by Jackson Knapp. Knapp through contact, fouled again. The story here for Seattle Pacific, you mentioned it earlier, Rick. The rebounding so critical, and it means even more in a matchup like this.
I agree.
St. Martin's ranked second in the conference in rebounding. Seattle Pacific ranked third. First free throw missed by Jackson Knapp. 67% free throw shooter coming in.
Yes, Danny, that last play, the one that drew this foul, was off a rebound. You know, that probably should have went to Seattle, to SMU. And Seattle Pacific picked it up.
Back end missed from Knapp. 4-point lead for Seattle Pacific. Samuels out to Omar Edge-Pixari. What a dart and find! Diego Trejo Delgado cuts the deficit down to 2.
That was a great pass, great vision on that assist.
Associate head coach Tyler Velasquez calling the plays tonight for SMU. The drive and finish, Mason Landek. 4-point lead for the visitors.
That was great speed on that dribble drive.
Omar Edge-Pixari picks up his dribble. Samuels. He'll work between the legs, spindling through. Wild miss. Seattle Pacific takes over. Already, Seattle Pacific with the lead and the bonus. Owen Moriarty does it again. It's a 6-point lead for Seattle Pacific.
Little spin move to the weak side. There was no help over there, so it was a great bucket by him.
They need a response, and they find one. Marcel Stevens for St. Martin's. Deficit to 4. And haltage of play. Timeout on the floor with 8:10 remaining in the first half. Through innovative products and services, Twin Star Credit Union is committed to helping its 250,000 plus members achieve financial success. Because we're a not-for-profit credit union, we focus on what matters most, helping the people and communities we serve thrive. At Twin Star, you'll find unmatched service. Here, we're on a first-name basis with our members. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. Seattle Pacific leads 19-15, also in the bonus the rest of the way in the first half. And this is a story where you always look for a response out of a break. For Kefri Fazio, you gotta love what you see.
I would say he has to love what he sees. You know, as far as 2-point field goals go, both teams are shooting fairly well. The threes right now, 0 for 3 for SPU, 1 for 6 for St. Martin's, combined 1 for 9 on threes right now, both teams. So nobody has a hot hand outside the arc.
You have a percentage of 12% from beyond the arc.
I think that's what that is.
But 3-point shooting Seattle Pacific, they're ranked dead last in the conference, 30%. But for St. Martin's, they're third in the conference in threes.
I would expect once they, get warmed up and get the cobwebs blown out, we'll probably see more of that.
But Seattle Pacific, thanks to that man, Owen Moriarty, have been red hot. To the right side, Jackson Knapp through the double team. And one step too many for Mason Landeck. And St. Martin's, maybe now, do you decide to slow down the pace?
No pressure in backcourt.
Omar Edge-Pixari. Right side, Stevens to Edge-Pixari. In the game, Jacob Harper. Diego Trejo Delgado. Open underneath, Harper scores. 2-point game. And the former San Jose City College product finds the bucket for St. Martin's. Knapp plays catch with Sandberg. Moriarty lobbed up high for Knapp on Trejo Delgado. Great defense.
We got some big bodies colliding in there underneath the hoop right now.
A lot of height. And a steal. Owen Moriarty for Seattle Pacific for Jackson Knapp. Quick transition bucket for Seattle Pacific. That extends their lead up to 4. 6:50 to play in the first half. Edge-Pixari to Miles Samuels. This is Diego Trejo Delgado. Samuels short on the layup. So here comes Seattle Pacific. Landeck. Moriarty from the top of the key. Lobbed up high. Backdoor feed. Landeck scores. What a play!
This excellent touch on that shot.
That may have been a pass that turned into a shot.
Might have been.
One way or the other, Mason Landeck with another bucket on a fantastic play. And Seattle Pacific leads by 6. With 6:17 to go in the first half, timeout called by St. Martin's. At Twin Star Credit Union, it's more than just about providing a top-notch banking experience for our members. We have a long and proud history of investing in the communities we serve. Last year, we donated more than $1 million to help support local organizations, schools, and causes. We believe that everyone benefits from strong and vibrant communities. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more.
Moriarty has 9 points and Landeck has 8 points. So they have 17 of their 23 points.
Mason Landeck, some respects, maybe more of a surprise. Landeck already has eclipsed his average in the first half. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner up high for Dyson Lighthall. Left wing side, long 3, good! It's Miles Samuels! And the lead has been cut in half. Here's Julian Mora for Seattle Pacific. Knapp, the 3 to respond and reply. No. Off of Moriarty, possession to St. Martin's. The defensive stand they needed. 5:35 left in the first half. But a 35. Hey, stoppage of play. Grounds crew tending to a stoppage. The attention to Diego Trejo Delgado. Quickly out for repairs. Now we're ready for play with 5:35 to go. So here comes St. Martin's with the basketball. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner on the right side. The close in from Diego Trejo Delgado. No look pass. Samuels off the three. Marcel Stevens through contact. Too much of it on Jonas Latour. 5:18 remaining in the first half.
Samuels has a very quick first step, and he's able to take advantage of that in his matchup right now.
Open Stevens. Would have been a long two if it went. Owen Moriarty charged on the foul. And it'll be, well, officials do deem a three-pointer. There's a reason why we're up here and not on the floor. Marcel Stevens at the line to shoot 3 shots. Stevens on the season from the line. 75% free throw shooter. Timeout called on the floor. 5:15 remaining. Again, a look at Seattle Pacific as they go through their season. They'll take on Western Oregon on Saturday at 4:15 start time. St. Martin's, they'll have a tough test taking on Montana State Billings, who you expect will be one of the top teams in the conference. Tough test with Billings last year. They finished 14-4 in GNAC play. Here's Marcel Stevens at the line. Stevens has accounted for double digits in his last 4 games. In what has been a breakout year for him. Stevens makes first free throw to trim the deficit down to 2. 5:15 to play. Here, the opening stages of play of the first half. Second attempt is good. After the review, it was a 2-pointer. Well, maybe our eyes didn't deceive ourselves.
Yeah.
But the deficit for St. Martin's is 1. Here's Julian Mora playing catch with Owen Moriarty. Mora shifts towards the right side. Moriarty back to Mora. Moriarty again. Right wing side. Schoenerstedt shoveled by Knapp. Long 3, good. Julian Mora.
That's tough to cover that corner shot out of a 2-3 zone. Quick passing and catches St. Martin's behind the ball.
Dyson Lighthall missed on the layup. Watched by Knapp. Lighthall out-muscles him for the bucket.
That was just a power play right there.
Dyson Lighthall using his rebounding capability to full excellence. Mora, fresh off the made 3. Dished off Trejo Delgado. He wanted to come up with that steal.
He was hunting for that one.
10 seconds to shoot. Jonas Latour will inbound for Seattle Pacific. And quickly enter in Julian Mora. How about a long 3? Missed off the heel. Latour comes up with a board. Will he do it again? Mora patiently waits. And newly installed shot clock.
Yeah, they're being really deliberate right now.
Here is the open 3. Schoenerstedt missed it. Trejo Delgado with a board. Schoenerstedt is fouled on the play. He got to his feet after missing the shot. And then he comes up with a foul. Marcel Stevens took the contact. Stoppage in play with 3:34 remaining in the first half. Seattle Pacific still with the lead. Both teams in the bonus. Through innovative products and services, Twin Star Credit Union is committed to helping its 250,000 plus members achieve financial success. Because we're a not-for-profit credit union, we focus on what matters most, helping the people and communities we serve thrive. At Twin Star, you'll find unmatched service. Here, we're on a first-name basis with our members. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. Danny DeBacca alongside Rick Wells with 3:34 to play. And again, the rebound battles have been one of the emphasis in tonight's game, and, well, not much separating both teams.
Danny, both teams have 6 guys with points, so it's pretty balanced that way. And both teams from the 2-point land are shooting right at 42%. So that's why we have a close game right now. It's pretty even.
How about points in the paint? Same story.
Same story. Points in the paint. 16 for St. Martin's and 16 for SPU. So pretty even. You don't get much more even than that.
Couldn't get much more even, but the scoreboard can be leveled up with the chance at the line for Marcel Stevens. Second trip to the free throw line.
SPU has balanced out the rebounding the last 5 to 7 minutes as well. They now have 12 rebounds to 15 for SPU.
So here is Stevens, this to tie the game. Yes. Seattle Pacific. How will they respond? Moriarty plays catch with Knapp. Moriarty has to get it out in time. 10-second violation, and the Saints take over.
Danny, when you press a team, you get that kind of a turnover. Not every time, but when it happens, you need it. If you don't press, the chance of the opponent bouncing the ball out of bounds is pretty slim.
Feels if you may have said that a couple times in a past career.
That's true.
Miles Samuels, Lighthall, Nielsen Skinner, the 3. Missed left side off the heel. Lobbied by Schoenerstedt. And Seattle Pacific advances with 3 minutes to play in the first half. This is Mason Landeck. Given to Jonas Latour. Moriarty from the left wing side. Landeck long 3 from Moriarty. Missed wide, partially to the right. Here comes St. Martin's with Diego Trejo Delgado closing in on Landeck. Jaden Nielsen Skinner still scoreless.
He had plenty of time to line that shot up. Their zone is, SPU's zone was not quick to get out there and cover that.
Jaden Nielsen Skinner, 36% from beyond the arc. A steal. Marcel Stevens up ahead. He'll take the 3 and miss everything. 2:05 to go in the first half. Here is Mason Landeck. Off the right-handed dribble for Seattle Pacific. Shifts it left side. Landeck puts one up. Wild shot that missed everything. Empty possessions for SPU and SMU. Dyson Lighthall closes in on Schoenerstedt and scores.
One-on-one with him. That's going to be a tough matchup.
How about 6'8" going up against 6'9"?
Yeah.
Tough matchup. Seattle Pacific, they're looking for a bucket. Here's Mason Landeck. 70 seconds to play. Coming up at halftime, look at first half stats, scores from across the Northwest. Landeck, Spindles, Moriarty, Schoenerstedt lost it. Stevens up ahead, Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Left side, Miles Stevens slows it down. Lighthall on Schoenerstedt. Closing in and missed it. 40 seconds to go. 12-second disparity between the shot clock and the game clock for Seattle Pacific. Here's Mason Landek. Left side for Knapp. Latour. Landek closing. He's got time, but he gave it away. Marcel Stevens drives. Nielsen Skinner rides it alone and scores. 4-point lead for St. Martin's. Moriarty. Left side. Landek with 5 seconds to play. Gave it away. Nielsen Skinner. Stevens at the horn. Missed it. A frantic finish to the first half. St. Martin's with a 30-26 lead as we head to halftime. Let's take a look at some of the first half stats and what has stood out. Seattle Pacific, for the most part, held the lead for a long period of time, but then it was the response from St. Martin's that was able to carry itself out through the first half of play. What a sequence we've had here in this first half of play, Rick Wells.
Not too much happening in three-point land for either team. SPU is 1 for 8, and St. Martin's is not much happening there for either team. The balance in scoring, I mean, there's nobody with double figures right now, but there's 6 or 7 guys all scoring points. That last bucket by Skinner was just great body control. I mean, he came full speed down the lane, had to field a pass between 2 tall giants and go up and put the bucket in. It's just really athletic. That was fun to watch.
Frantic sequence. St. Martin's with the lead on Seattle Pacific, 30-26 at the half. But as we navigate our way, look at some of the leading scorers, and it's been the excellence on Seattle Pacific. 2 key stars offensively.
Moriarty has 9 points. He's their leading scorer right now. Landek has 8. Although we haven't heard from Landek in the last 5 or 6 minutes. But he's a threat. You got to pay attention to where he's at on the floor. And for St. Martin's, Stevens with 7, Samuels with 7, Delgado with 6, a couple other guys with 2. So pretty balanced scoring. Samuels has got a really quick first step off the dribble. So early on in the half, he was getting down the lane and putting some points up. And SPU adjusted to that, provided some help, and it's kind of taken that away from him the last part of that first half. So we'll see what other adjustments might come out of that, come back from the locker room.
So also, let's look at some of the scores from across the GNAC in what is a busy night. 3 other games in action this evening. First matchup that features University of Alaska Fairbanks against Western Washington, and it's UAF with the lead, 50-45. That taking place in Bellingham. Good matchup between Alaska Fairbanks and Western Washington. Both teams very well suited to play in GNAC play. They have 12 minutes remaining in regulation time. Alaska Fairbanks at this point has a 52-45 lead over Western Washington. Other key scores from across the GNAC. Alaska Anchorage taking on Seattle Pacific. A lot of these games are in the second half since we had a later start time. Of course, at the half, 30-26 lead for St. Martin's. 9 minutes to play between Alaska Fairbanks and Simon Fraser. 67-67 tie. They're going down to the wire in that contest. And then also one other game happening in the GNAC. Montana State Billings with a 42-24 lead. They are inching their way closer to halftime down south. So those are the scores from across the GNAC. How about a couple other updates that are happening in the sports world, including in college football. Georgia against Notre Dame. Well, it was the 7 seed Fighting Irish defense and special teams able to get it done. And Notre Dame moving on to the semifinals of the college football playoff with a hard-earned victory. And they move on in the college football playoff, and that brings a little bit more of an intensified focus of what will be happening soon next week with Ohio State. Also moving on, a 41-21 victory against Oregon. Texas in double overtime, a winner and an instant classic against Arizona State. Penn State also moving on with a victory over Boise State, 31-24. National Hockey League action taking place over at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle. How about Pacific Northwest battle between Vancouver and Seattle? And it's the Vancouver Canucks. 10 minutes to play in the second period. The Canucks have a 2-1 lead with goals from Max Sasson and Connor Garland. Chandler Stevenson has the lone goal for Seattle in the contest over at Climate Pledge Arena. What you could call the NHL's version of the I-5 rivalry, Vancouver and Seattle, with the Canucks up 2-1 at the half. We'll take a break, and in a matter of moments, we'll be back for the second half of play between Seattle Pacific and St. Martin's in just a moment on the St. Martin's live stream. at the half, St. Martin's with a 30-26 lead on Seattle Pacific. Danny DeBaca alongside Rick Wells, where St. Martin's has the edge. It's been back and forth all across the way, but it's a thin margin that separates St. Martin's and Seattle Pacific. So we look at halftime scoreline with the 4-point lead. St. Martin's, so far this season, when they've had the lead, they hold a record of 10-0 this season. Seattle Pacific has trailed on 5 occasions this season, and they have yet to win when they've trailed at halftime.
Well, that's a pretty impressive statistic, Danny. Behind at half 5 times and never come out and pull it out. So let's, see if that happens tonight. And I'm sure they're hoping they're not 0-6 with that, but it does look like it's tipping in St. Martin's favor. Speaking about rebounding here for a second, Jackson Knapp, he leads the GNAC in rebounding, and his average is 9 a game, and he already has that in the first half. No one else on either team has 9 rebounds. A couple guys with 2, 3, 1. So keeping Jackson Knapp off the boards, boxing him out, would be something that St. Martin's is going to have to come to do this second half.
And you mentioned Jackson Knapp in the first GNAC game of the season. He had 17 rebounds against Montana State Billings. That was not a record, but it was good to put himself in a tie for 6 all-time in Seattle Pacific in a single game in scoring, oddly enough.
He has a nose for the ball coming off the rim.
As far as rebounds were concerned, 17 boards. Long time ago, we'll look more into the history in a moment. Meanwhile, in 2025, it's the finish from Jackson Knapp again, and there he is again, the deficit cut down to 2. The answer, Stevens, Airplanes, left side, Emmanuel Oladele. Quiet in the first half, Oladele makes an impact in the second.
That was just sheer strength taking that into the key. That was a great play.
4-point lead for Seattle Pacific. St. Martin's, beg your pardon. 45 seconds in. Jackson Knapp, his J goes. It's a 2-point game. Track meet continues. Back comes St. Martin's. Stephens, Nielsen Skinner disposes of Moriarty. The 3 missed by JNS. These teams have met 149 times previously. But who will win the 150th meeting between the Falcons and the Saints? In D2 basketball, this 3 is good. Owen Moriarty.
He had all the time in the world to line that up.
How about an answer? Lyle
so
Stevens. Whatever you could do, I could do better.
Both those guys were standing alone.
Open 3s, and they do not miss. Moriarty from the right side. Sandberg closes in along the baseline. He scores.
That was a tough basket to make. That looked like it came from behind the backboard.
How about a 35-35 deadlock? Nielsen Skinner sent one into the seats. Don't think that pass was meant to go into the second row. Seattle Pacific with the basketball. So up comes Owen Moriarty. Leading scorer for Seattle Pacific. Does it again. And the Falcons have the lead. Quickly in transition, Jaden Nielsen Skinner fouled on the way. 2:28 elapsed time. His second half of play.
Skinner has a knack of creating mismatches because he gets past his man And then he is so adept at dishing off the assist on that kind of a play. In fact, I think he leads the GNAC in assists.
Right up there with the best of them. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner averages 6 assists a game. First free throw from Skinny is missed. So here's second attempt from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. And Nielsen-Skinner does have the lead in the conference in assists, but he can't make the free throws. And it's a 2-point lead for Seattle Pacific. Moriarty to the top of the key with Schoonerstedt. Long three missed by net. And back comes Skinny. Left it. Omar edge. Pixari drives down the lane. He is fouled as he was towered by Henry Sandberg. Third personal charge.
Pexari is a 64% free throw shooter, so we'll see if he can put these in the hole.
Well, reason why for that average could be for lack of attempts. He hasn't played much, so the average does go up.
That's true.
With that make. Edge Pixari, 3 of 3 from the line. Make it 4 for 4. And the game is tied at 37. Knapp renders to Moriarty. Owen Moriarty zooms down the lane. One step too many, and a travel call. Back and forth we go. It's what you would expect between Seattle Pacific and St. Martin's. Marcel Stevens to Omar Edge Pixari. Left it for Trejo Delgado. Stevens. Watched by Sandberg. Miles Stevens looks to close on the low block. Helicoptered out to Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. 3 to shoot. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner missed on the 3. Knapp the board for Seattle Pacific. Another empty possession. Can Seattle Pacific break the ice? Schoonerstedt. Closing in, Moriarty travels again. Second straight possession that ends in a travel call.
Turnovers for Seattle Pacific are 11 to only 4 for St. Martin's.
Seattle Pacific in turnovers ranked 4th at giving the ball away. Possession does stay with the Saints. Timeout on the floor and a 37-37 deadlock. Stay up to date on all things Saints by following us on social media at SMU Saints or by heading to our website, smusaints.com. Look at some of the scores from across the GNAC. Montana State Billings holds 55-36 lead on Western Oregon with 12 minutes to play in regulation time. Other scores from across the GNAC. 4 games in the busy slate. Alaska Fairbanks and Western Washington tussling up at Carver Gym up in Bellingham. And it's Alaska Fairbanks with 5 minutes to play with a 9-point lead, 69-60 on Western Washington. And the only other and final game across the GNAC, Alaska Anchorage with an 82-75 lead on Simon Fraser. With 77 seconds to play, Alaska Anchorage seems to be in the driver's seat to earn what would be their second GNAC win of the year. 37-37 tie. Danny DeBacco alongside Rick Wells. Looked at the rebounding, but early on in the second half, it's been the defense that has made its way in half number 2.
Speaking of rebounding, Jackson Knapp still leads everybody. He's the only player in double digits for rebounding. He has 11 right now. In fact, SPU has got the lead 22-16 on rebounds.
Another rebound claimed by Seattle Pacific. Still in a deadlock. So here comes SPU. Jackson Knapp. Watched by Samuels. Open three. Schoenerstedt. Missed off the right end of the rim. Haltage of play. Foul on the floor. Going against St. Martin's on Miles Samuels. For Samuels, that's his second personal. Jayshawn Moore also with 2 fouls. Jonas Latour and Henry Sandberg each have 3 fouls for Seattle Pacific. Here's Mason Landick. Moriarty pressured heavily by Stevens. Moriarty disposes of him until a foul charged against Stevens.
SPU is moving the ball really well. Quick, sharp passes against St. Martin's zone, and it's causing St. Martin to have to run to defend. And that's always a disadvantage.
Here's Mason Landick. Loops. Schoenerstedt drains the 3. It funnels in, and Seattle Pacific ends the scoring drought with a made bucket. Their first bucket scored in 2.5 minutes. St. Martin's looks to answer. Trejo Delgado gave it away. Jackson Knapp on Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. Kicked it out. Stevens vultured away the pass. He is fouled by Jackson Knapp. St. Martin's desperately needing a bucket. They have not scored for the last 3 minutes and 19 seconds.
Time for a basket, Danny.
Jaden Nielsen-Skinner finds Stevens. Trejo Delgado. He's been locked up in this game. Omar edge picks Sari down the lane. Down to Nielsen-Skinner. Skinny looks to close in. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner fakes 3 times and scores.
That was a great ball fake that made the defender completely drop his arms. That was just a great play.
First bucket for St. Martin's in 4 minutes. Seattle Pacific still in front though. Landick, his J, good. Mason Landick. And a 3-point lead for Seattle Pacific. Marcel Stevens to tie, got it! Marcel Stevens with the made 3. 40% 3-point shooter ties up the game for SMU.
That gives him 10 points and Samuels 10 points right now.
Only 2 Saints in double digits. Knapp kicked out. Driving in Mason Landick. Left it. Schoenerstedt makes the 3. Nikias Schoenerstedt. And they go. Edge Pixari is fouled. He'll head to line for 2 shots.
At halftime, Danny, I was bemoaning the fact that we weren't either team shooting threes at a very high clip. Now we've just dropped several of them.
Speaking of shooting at a high clip, both teams have played each other multiple times over their history. Omar Edge Pixari, first free throw attempt. Rolls in, 2-point lead. 150 meetings, and sometimes you do have history between the two teams. Seattle Pacific, they've been playing for a long time. Back on February the 22nd, of 1958, Lauren Anderson scored what is to this day a Seattle Pacific record, 54 points against St. Martin's.
Wow.
I doubt we'll see a 54-point effort. Leading scorer is Owen Moriarty at 14 points, but commendable effort from Lauren Anderson all the way back in 1958.
Danny, that was 2 lifetimes ago. You weren't even around.
That was 66 years ago. Foul called, the end result, against Marcel Stevens. As we head into a stoppage of play, with 6:56 elapsed time and a 1-point lead for Seattle Pacific. Here's Mason Landeck. He'll jettison on in. Knapp, left corner, deep 3, missed on the effort from David Zachman. He is 0 of 5 on the season. Oladele finish to give St. Martin's the lead.
That was a really athletic play. That was beautiful.
Logan Kinlock back into the game for Seattle Pacific. Here is Mason Landeck. Landeck out to Knapp. This is Sandberg to the right side for Zachman. The close in from Knapp. Rebound claimed by Jay-Sean Moore. First action in an awful long time. Foul called on Landeck. So Landeck charged with the foul. And that's his first personal, and that comes maybe in some respects as a surprise how much defense Mason Landeck has infused on St. Martin's.
Yeah, he is so aggressive and scrambles. He's in 5th gear all the time, so it is surprising.
Here's Jaden Nielsen-Skinner. St. Martin's with a 1-point lead. Emmanuel Oladele dropped it. Jay-Sean Moore. Nielsen-Skinner. Court-wide pass. Long 3. Miles Stevens missed off the heels. Samuels almost got his own board. Moore in a tie-up and rolls out of bounds. Possession favors St. Martin's.
Everybody's on the floor.
What an effort amidst the tie-up. Jay-Sean Moore fought with all he could and came up with possession. The Saints with a 1-point lead. Whether it's competitive rates, affordable loans, or great service, Twin Star Credit Union is here to help you reach your financial goals every step of the way. Together, we can help you realize your financial dreams. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. Look at scoring updates from all across the Northwest, up at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Vancouver Canucks and Seattle Kraken. The end of 2 periods of play. Vancouver Canucks lead the Kraken 2-1. Here at Twin Star Credit Union Court, St. Martin's a 46-45 lead on Seattle Pacific. Danny DeBach alongside Rick Wells with 11:51 to play in the second half. And it could not get any more even between these two GNAC opponents.
Danny, their shooting is even. Although I will say in this last few minutes, SPU has done a little bit better from the floor. They're 17 for 35, so almost 50% clip from the floor, 49%. That's what's kind of kept them in this game.
Another aspect that stands out, how about the defensive effort from Jaden Nielsen-Skinner and Marcel Stevens for a team that came in St. Martin's, ranked 2nd in the GNAC in steals per game.
I think that Skinner is in the top of the the league as well for steals. He has 3 tonight. I think he has 20-some on the season, so he brings a lot to the game in his defense.
Omar edge picks. Sorry, missed the 3. Foul called on Emmanuel Oladele, or is it? Foul charge on Seattle Pacific's Logan Kinlock instead. Oladele initially believed the foul was on him. Here's Nielsen Skinner. Right back to Oladele. Moore. Pixari finds Jaden Nielsen Skinner. Suckered off the foot of Kias Schoenerstedt. Again, we see this in the first game out of the break in conference play. Sometimes players that don't see much playing time, especially after 2 conference games, they finally are displayed. Here is one. Jayshawn Moore, a power move to the rack.
You're right, Danny. That was power.
How about the other way? Missing the layup, Jonas Latour. The Saints with a 3-point lead. Moore again, right side. Jaden Nielsen Skinner floated out for Oladele, a 3. Missed it off the heel and out of play. What a sequence. First, Jayshawn Moore, how do you do? Then, the other way, Latour misses on the layup.
That's unusual. It makes for a great play, though.
Great play from Moore. Back comes Seattle Pacific with Owen Moriarty. Matched up on Pixari. Looks to shake him off. Haltage of play, foul called. Inbound from the baseline. Omar edge Pixari called on the foul. 10:40 left. Lob to Pye. Kias Schoenerstedt. Schoenerstedt disposed to Jackson Knapp. He lost his dribble. Schoenerstedt is there for Seattle Pacific. In comes Henry Sandberg, 2 to shoot. Missed it. St. Martin's.
Great defense by St. Martin's on that trip down the floor.
Can they do it on the offensive end? Miles Samuels down the lane. Scoops one in, and the Saints lead by 2 possessions.
Yes, that was a big bucket right there.
Moriarty harassed by Ege Pixari. This is Jackson Knapp. Moriarty has it again. Left it. Henry Sandberg. Latour dished inside through contact. Well short. Follow-up chance from Latour. The layup missed. Jaden Nielsen Skinner vacuums up the loose ball for St. Martin's with a 5-point lead. Samuels. Oladele. Matched up on Moriarty. Oladele. Ege Pixari. Missed off the heel. Rebound seized by Henry Sandberg for Seattle Pacific. Timeout called by Kefri Fazio of Seattle Pacific. With 9:13 to go, St. Martin's with a 5-point lead, 50-45. Look at scores from throughout the GNAC and some scores on the verge of becoming final. Western Washington and Alaska Fairbanks. It is the Nanooks with an 88-73 victory in Carver Gym. Western Washington also matchup that has gone final. Alaska Anchorage, a winner on Simon Fraser, 94-87. High-scoring game between 2 GNAC foes. And the only other game besides us in the GNAC happening at the moment between Montana State Billings and Western Oregon. And it is Yellow Jackets of Montana State University Billings up on Western Oregon 79-57 with 3:09 to play in regulation time. And that's a matchup of key notice for both Seattle Pacific and St. Martin's. SPU will head down south to Monmouth to take on Western Oregon, while Montana State University Billings will head on up to play St. Martin's on Saturday. All part of great action throughout the GNAC, but importantly, the matter here, in a game between two very well-matched teams in GNAC play, neck and neck last year, and this proving to be the same case this season. St. Martin's with what is their largest lead of the night of 5. It does display how close this game has been. Here is Jackson Knapp for Seattle Pacific. Left for Logan Kinlock. To the top of the key for Knapp. In traffic, Jonas Latour missed another layup. He's missed 3 in a row, and he gives it away. Emmanuel Oladele for St. Martin's. Nielsen Skinner to the top of the key. Watched by Latour.
Smart move to kind of slow things down a little bit right here.
Jaden Nielsen Skinner. He looks to close inside. Instead, while toppling, sent it past Oladele to Miles Samuels. Long 3 is buried. Miles Samuels, the largest lead of the game for St. Martin's.
I think he shot that from Olympia.
How about the answer missed, however, by Mason Landeck. Olympia not too far away. Jay-Sean Moore. Oladele inside. Lost something, the ball. He regathers. Samuels again. How about another? Miles Samuels has done it again. Back-to-back threes. Timeout, Seattle Pacific.
I think that bucket, according to my unofficial stats, gave him 18 points now. And he leads all scorers.
What an incredible showing from Miles Samuels. Back-to-back threes. We mentioned the largest lead at one point was 5. How about 11 for St. Martin's?
St. Martin's, they started 0 forever in the first half. Now they're 4 for 7 on threes.
They were 1 for 9 early on before they cleaned up the act in a big way. They were 2 of 11 in the first half alone, and a complete night and day difference from the first half to the second. We expected that from a team in St. Martin's that came into the night ranked 3rd in the GNAC in threes, and, well, we saw Exhibit A in the last 2 minutes.
Yes, I agree. They are they have a touch, you know, and they've, especially late in games, they've done well from beyond the arc.
And they've done it, well, you have so many guys for St. Martin's efficient shooting the 3. Marcel Stevens, Nielsen Skinner, Miles Samuels. In fact, all things considered, he's middle of the pack as far as the starting 5 is concerned with shooting threes. This is insane. This is how St. Martin's can win a lot of games throughout GNAC play. It's going to carry an extra level of importance when they play against Montana State Billings, but can the Saints hold down the Falcons? 7:45 remaining. Here's Owen Moriarty. Up to Logan Kinlock, back into the game for Seattle Pacific. Jackson Knapp. Watched by Oladele. 5 to shoot. Moriarty is denied by Oladele. Nielsen Skinner back the other way. Shovels. Ege picks. Sorry, Moore counted as a foul for Jay-Sean Moore. And the Saints have seized complete control.
There were 3 guys with shots right there, and 2 of them passed them up. That's great teamwork.
Jay-Sean Moore, welcome back with an emphatic play. The foul charged against Seattle Pacific brings St. Martin's into the bonus. Jay-Sean Moore at the line to complete the 3-point play. He does.
Wow. A big turnaround in about 3 minutes right there.
Complete momentum shift. St. Martin's with their eyes set on their 4th straight victory against Seattle Pacific. Jay-Sean Moore already in foul trouble, picks up his 3rd. 7:02 to go.
Well, St. Martin's has switched in the last several minutes to just a scramble man-to-man. You're going to get people getting fouls when you play that, but it's made a difference in terms of momentum.
Knapp from the outside into the paint. 5 to shoot. Jackson Knapp fights through contact, 1-on-4. Miles Samuels picks up the foul. That's his 3rd.
That was a long time in the key, Danny. He gave about 4 or 5 fakes standing down there. Surprised that there wasn't a violation on that.
Nevertheless, Knapp at the line, 68% free throw shooter coming into the evening. Knapp so far 0 of 2 and now 0 for 3. Sometimes when it's not your night, it's not your night. Knapp aiming to make his first of the night. He still has it. 6:40 to go. Omar Ege Pixari. Nielsen Skinner. Oladele kicked out to Jaden Nielsen Skinner. He'll look to drive in. Miles Samuels again. Oladele comes up with the board. Emmanuel Oladele. Well, he stepped on the red paint on the baseline and turnover. Seattle Pacific with a 14-point deficit. This disposed out of play by Oladele again. Seattle Pacific will inbound with 6:19 remaining. But what a complete turnaround. And it's that that stint that really turned this game around.
I love the intense, kind of in-your-face, man-to-man defense. It turns lots of games around.
From the right side, Mora from the elbow, contacted, another foul. This time on Jaden Nielsen Skinner.
He doesn't think he hit him. He thinks he got all ball on that. He might have.
6 minutes left in the game. Here's Julian Mora at the line for St. Martin's. First look at the free throw line tonight for Julian Mora. Only his 4th trip to the line this season. And he missed the free throw. That is the first free throw miss from Julian Mora this season. He was 6 of 6. 5:56 to go. Miles Samuels to inbound for the Saints. Nielsen Skinner to the right side. Samuels looped to Pye. Samuels to Nielsen Skinner. Back pedals on Mora. Omar Ege Pixari, court-wide pass. Oladele, the 3. Got it! It hung in the air, but Emmanuel Oladele adds to the lead for St. Martin's. Coast to coast, looped on in by Mason Landeck. Seattle Pacific quickly with the response. Haltage of play, timeout called with 5:25 to go. Through innovative products and services, Twin Star Credit Union is committed to helping its 250,000 plus members achieve financial success. Because we're a not-for-profit credit union, we focus on what matters most, helping the people and communities we serve thrive. At Twin Star, you'll find unmatched service. Here, we're on a first-name basis with our members. Stop by one of our local branches or visit twinstarcu.com to learn more. Danny DeBach alongside Rick Wells with St. Martin's in front 62-47 as they look to maintain their perfect record in GNAC play. A win would bring them to 3-0 on the year, with Montana State University Billings looming in the wings. MSUB, one of 3 teams undefeated in GNAC play coming into tonight. Beg your pardon, 4 teams rather. Here's Miles Samuels, short on the attempted floater. Seattle Pacific looks to break out. Landek. Jonas Latour spindles in and out.
That was a great move. Ball just didn't fall for him on that one.
Nielsen Skinner to Oladele. Ege Pixari. From the outside, Jay-Sean Martin to the rack. Jay-Sean Moore, beg your pardon, he scores. And St. Martin's has a 64-47 lead. This attempted 3, missed by Jonas Latour. Nielsen Skinner, Moore, foul. Charged against Jackson Knapp. That's his 3rd personal. The sequence midway portion, the second half, has typified this game. This was neck and neck. How about the 3-point shooting?
You know, it's kind of appears to have put SPU kind of on their heels. They're playing reaction basketball right now to where's the pass, where am I supposed to go, instead of being aggressive and making the play happen themselves. They're reacting to what's happening. They're kind of on their heels, and you know, it's close to being a 20-point lead when it was just tied here recently.
And this is a game, you can't let the scoreboard dictate how this game was well fought. Long 3, missed by Mason Landek. St. Martin's traverses the other way with Jay-Sean Moore. Under 4 minutes to go. Moore, short, off the window. Knapp drives in, denied by Trejo Delgado illegally. Foul charge. Beg your pardon, Manuel Oladele is charged on the foul.
Yeah, I was going to say, that block looked pretty clean to me, so it must have been called before that.
So Oladele bookmarked with the foul. Marcel Stevens will check in next dead ball with 3:45 left in the second half of play. But big tests. You talk about big games next coming up. You have last season, you have the number 1 and number 3 teams in the GNAC meeting on Saturday. Montana State Billings and St. Martin's. Boy, that is going to be a fun one.
That's going to be a barn burner.
A look at Montana State Billings. This is a team that is offensively gifted. Jalen Tott leads the way, leads the conference as well. 16 points a game. Kyle Robinson averages 14 points and 7 boards a game. Brendan Johnson averages 12 points a game. And the only other Montana State Billings player that averages double digits, man by the name of Famous Left Hand. He averages 11 points a game.
I wonder if he's left-handed.
Wonder if he is left-handed. Well, yeah, that's one that's low-hanging, yes. Famous left hand and the rest of the offense for Montana State Billings. They'll be in full display coming up on Saturday in what should be a fun contest. And those are some of the key games. Both teams with St. Martin's ranked in the top 25. This could be one of those high-octane matchups, maybe even one of the biggest matchups, you could say, in GNAC play. 5 other games across the weekend. Features Northwest Nazarene against Central. Those are also undefeated teams. So we'll have the last 4 teams in GNAC play that are undefeated playing each other. Oladele another 3. This one converted. Emmanuel Oladele with the made 3. He has put on a clinic.
That puts him over a 20-point lead, 21 points.
How about another steal? Here comes Marcel Stevens for St. Martin's. Closing stages. Stevens to Oladele. And domino down on the play was Landek. Diego Trejo Delgado is charged on the foul. .308 to play.
Stevens has 4 steals on the night now, and he was second leading steal maker here for St. Martin's with 21 on the season. Unofficially has 25 now, so that would put him in the lead on the team. He was just behind Skinner by 1 or 2 steals.
And Nielsen Skinner also with an eloquent effort with steals already. 3 steals for him, along with 7 assists. And that's where JNS is at his best, and it's not in the scoring department. He is a distributor.
He can get the ball around the floor. He has great vision. He anticipates mismatches. He creates mismatches. And when a switch happens and he sees that it's an advantage elsewhere, he gets the ball there.
He's able to find the open slots, and this helps especially against a team in Seattle Pacific that doesn't have a true assist leader. You could say Mason Landek with, or Jackson Knapp with around 3 assists a game. But story here in this game, you'll look back and neck game, close and throughout. Unlike the game last year where St. Martin's won the game in the first half, a 30-point lead at halftime. This is a little bit of a different story where it was close until that late stretch where Seattle Pacific couldn't score, but it was St. Martin's that was hitting on plenty of threes, and that's where this game was won.
That's where it's won. And, you know, it's tough to defend that. You know, that's what, you know, you're a coach, you're pulling your hair out on that. You know, how many timeouts can I take? I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Who can I put in? How can I fix that?
But looking at some of stats from the evening, and also for St. Martin's, very efficient from the free throw line also.
Yes, they are.
And that comes maybe in some respects as a little bit of a surprise. This is a team that came in tonight ranked dead last.
Dead last in free throw. They're 11 for 13 tonight, 85% from the line. You shoot that well from the line, you're going to be winning games. And you're not throwing any points away. You're scoring when the clock is dead. I mean, it's really a huge advantage.
They are set up eloquently for Saturday against Montana State Billings.
Well, we got about 3 minutes to go, Danny. With a 20-point lead, I would feel pretty comfortable with that.
Tyler Velasquez has to feel good about the response from his Saints side. For final comments, from the Saints coaching staff, be sure to check out our website. Seattle Pacific also, their media team does an excellent job on their side. Complete depth and analysis as well. Filled with a lot of great SIDs in the conference. This three missed on the effort from Miles Samuels. That doesn't put much of a damper on his three-point shooting tonight, including those few that set this game apart. This disposed, shoveled back by Schoenerstedt. 5 to shoot for Seattle Pacific. Jackson Knapp watches the layup from Julian Mora with 2 minutes to go. St. Martin's on their way to a 3-0 start in GNAC play. Marcel Stevens towards the right side for Miles Samuels. Diego Trejo Delgado along 2, that rolls off the rim. Schoenerstedt comes up with a board for SPU. Mora the other way. Nearly had it stolen by Marcel Stevens. Seattle Pacific keeps the ball. If you were watching this game and decided to do something, whether go outside or work on something in the kitchen, and you've come back, that score is in fact correct. What a turnaround this game has turned out to be.
That happened suddenly. So all of a sudden, St. Martin's caught fire and started putting down some threes, making some steals. They went to man-to-man defense, created havoc. It all played into it.
So here comes Seattle Pacific with Julian Mora. Dish down low. The bucket to Logan Kinlock. Third appearance this season. Kinlock, 2 times All-League tennis in high school, along with his accolades in basketball. He was only a state champion with O'Day. Not bad for high school career for Logan Kinlock. Also a 4-time varsity starter at O'Day. That is quite the impressive high school resume. Here's another 3 from Kinlock. That's missed. Follow-up attempt. Foul called against Omar Ege Pixari. So here is Jackson Knapp at the line for Seattle Pacific with 15 minutes to go. 50 seconds left.
That rebound he just got right there put him at 14 rebounds. The only one in double figures for rebounds.
First free throw missed by Jackson Knapp. Owen Moriarty comes away as we head down the business end. 14 points. Mason Landek, 12 points. Knapp with 8 points after second made free throw night. He went 2 of 8 from the charity stripe. St. Martin's closing seconds with Emmanuel Oladele to Omar Ege Pixari. He'll drive down the lane. He's fouled on the way. He'll head to the free throw line. But it's a look ahead. Seattle Pacific take on Western Oregon. They'll face one of the top scorers in the GNAC, Jason Gallant. Averages 17 points a game for Western Oregon. Be the test that Seattle Pacific will see. Ege Pixari makes the first free throw. So here's the second of 2 shots. Ege Pixari goes 2 for 2. 2-second disparity between the shot clock and the game clock. Long 3 cranked up by Mora. Goes in and out. Oladele to Ege Pixari. And the Saints continue their march in GNAC play with a surge in the second half of play, outscoring Seattle Pacific 41-27. They remain perfect in GNAC play. They go to 3-0 off a 71-53 victory over Seattle Pacific. What a performance, what an evening from the Saints with the victory over Seattle Pacific. Let's take a look at some of the key stats. Danny DeBach alongside Rick Wells. What a performance from the Saints offense.
You know, Danny, I'm going to focus on rebounding. At halftime, there was a deficit, and the deficit was against St. Martin's. The game ended 34 rebounds to 34 rebounds. They came back, started doing a better job boxing out, keeping Jackson Knapp off the board, although he still ended with 14 rebounds, which is a handful. But I think that plus the defense that they switched to midway through that fourth quarter, they went to a man-to-man. It put SPU on its heels, and they capitalized at the other end when it happened.
Rebounding, paving the way, points in the paint, favors St. Martin's 34-28. A look at Seattle Pacific as they will take on Western Oregon on Saturday. Start time of 2 o'clock Pacific, 4:15 Pacific time. Owen Moriarty finished with the lead in scoring for Seattle Pacific with 14 points. Mason Landeck with 12 points. Jackson Knapp with 8 points with the 14 rebounds. And he will be a tough test for the GNAC as far as boards are concerned. Kias Schoenerstedt with 6 points also on the evening for Seattle Pacific. And this is a case, they've hung tough in their 2 GNAC games, but this is a team, although they're 0-2 in GNAC play, they will make some noise, and they'll work their way back into the playoff picture.
I think they came into this game 4-8 overall. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And they're a really good 4-win team.
Yes.
That really surprises me that as good as they are and as strong as they are, and that they only have 4 wins to their credit right now.
Well, they have had a tough schedule. They've played against 2 teams that are ranked tops nationally, so top 25.
That'll do it.
So tough battles all across the board for Seattle Pacific. For St. Martin's on the other end, in the victory, we saw double-digit scoring for Emmanuel Adele, 10 points, 7 boards. Marcel Stevens with 10 points and 4 steals. Jaden Nielsen-Skinner only had 4 points, but the number that matters the most to him, you would think, 7 assists and 3 steals. Boys, so many stars, but if you had to, Omar Ege Pixari, also 8 points. Yes. Diego Trejo Delgado with 6. But there is one that stood above the rest, and a game can be won and lost many ways. If there was one play that really set the tone, it was a man that was lethal from beyond the arc.
Samuels. He, what was he? He was 4 for 9 for the night from three-point land. So that is, approaching 50%. And you get somebody shooting 50% from beyond the arc, get the ball to him. That.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. Here, give it to Samuels. It was that sequence. First it was Samuels hitting the 3. Then an empty possession for Seattle Pacific. And then moments later, Samuels again with the 3. Those 3s back-to-back completely turned the game on its axis. That's how St. Martin's was able to come away with season control.
That's a backbreaker. If you're playing against that, that just crushes your morale, especially if you think you're kind of making a run back and all of a sudden, a 3 happens, you go down and miss, another 3 happens, and that's a 6-point turnaround to nothing. And, when you're playing a really good team, St. Martin's is a good team. And when you get behind the curveball to a really good team, it's hard to come back. they have to absolutely do nothing for the next 4 minutes so you can just tie them. And that, that's not going to happen.
No, not at all. So before that sequence, St. Martin's had a 5-point lead, which was their most of the night, and this put the game prohibitively out of range. So once again, the narrative stays true. St. Martin's goes to 11-0 when they've led at halftime. We'll see what happens against Montana State Billings. What a day we'll have in the GNAC. You have Central taking on Northwest Nazarene, both undefeated in GNAC play at 2-0. Then you have Montana State Billings. They're also 2-0, taking on a 3-0 St. Martin's team. Boy, that will be a dandy.
That'll be a dandy, you're right. If I wasn't out of town, I would go watch that game.
The tip-off will be at 5:15. I'll be there with you alongside the great Sean Wally for the coverage of St. Martin's against Montana State University Billings, with also St. Martin's against Western Washington preceding that contest, with a start time taking place at 3 o'clock Pacific time. That's all the time that we have for tonight's broadcast. A special thank you to everyone who makes this broadcast possible. For Matt Schwarzler and Rick Wells, I'm Danny Bach saying so long and take care. And thanks for letting us be a part of your evening. Your final score, the St. Martin Saints 71, Seattle Pacific Falcons 53.